Yeah, hi there. In this tutorial, we are going to cover simple forecasting time series models. We will start with the first model as the naive method. So what naive method says is for any future forecast, we just simply set all forecasts to be the value of the last observation. So what it means that let's say we have time series data of a couple of years, let's say 5 years of data, say starting from 2015 to 2020. And if you want to predict value for the next year, then the values of the next year will be what is the value in December 2020, because we have data of 5 years 2015 to 20. So last month of 2020 is December 2020. So whatever the value is there in December 2020, that value is actually taken as the forecasted value for the next year. So it's put simply, whatever the last value is observed is taken as to be the forecasted value for the next period. So that's a very simple method, naive method. Now another method is the seasonal naive method. So in seasonal naive method, we set each forecast to be equal to the last observed value from the same season of the year. For example, let's say what it means, if I want to predict uh, the forecast value of February 2020, then as per this seasonal live method, the forecast value for February 2020 would be same as what was in February to 2019. So basically we take the same month's data of the previous year to do the forecasting. Similarly, the forecast value of quarter 2 2020 would be equal to will be the same as will be the same as what was the value of quarter 2 in 2019. So that's how we used to predict in the seasonal now method. Now next method is the simple average method. Simple average method says that the forecasts of all the future values is equal to the mean of the historical data. So in a simple way, just whatever the observations we have, take the mean, and whatever value we'll get is the forecasted value. Now another method is the drift method. So drift method is a slight variation of the naive method. It allows the forecast to increase or decrease over the time, where the amount of change over the time is called as the drift, and it is said to be the average change seen in the historical data. So what it means that in the naive method, what we did, we just said the forecast value will be equal to the last seen observation. In drift, we basically add, which is add some extra amount, which is called as the drift, so that we get a variation in the data. So okay, now we know these basic forecasting models. Now we'll try to implement these. Again, just first quickly importing the libraries NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and setting the style to Seaborn dash colorblind. Like we did in the previous session, we importing data from airline traffic.csv file. This and setting the column header as month and passenger, converting the month to date time, setting the index as a month, and for the missing values, I'm trying to impute using the linear interpolation method, and finally setting the passengers data type as integer. So this is finally our data frame looks like. Now we are splitting it into two parts, train and test. So what I'm doing is 0 to 120. Uh, that is these many rows. I'm taking it in the train data set, and from the index 120 onwards into the test data set. Now first method going to implement is the naive method implementation. Remember what we said in naive method is the forecast value is same as what was the last seen value. So now we have to forecast for this test data. So I am initializing a data frame which is y hat naive. This has the same values as the test data frame. So I'm just doing test dot copy. Okay, now why test dot copy? Because it creates a deep copy, so that otherwise what will happen if we make changes in this data frame, then the same will get reflected in the test, which is what we don't want. We want a separate copy to be created. That's why test dot copy. Now what we now we have to find out the last value which is in the train data set. So how do we get the last value? We do train dot ilog minus 1. As you know, negative index starts from the end. So if I do train dot ilog minus 1, it will give me the last observation of the train data set, and from there I'm just because that would be in the form of a series, I'm just taking the value by saying the zeroth index, that is the first element, and putting it in a new column, which is the knife forecast. So basically what I'm doing, in the same data frame y hat name, I'm creating a new column called as knife forecast, and all the values of this particular column will be set as the last value of this train data set. So this is what you see. So this is our actually uh, y hat name. This is created based on this test data set or test data frame. So the passengers, you see, this is the actual value in the test data frame, and NIA forecast is it has the same value for all the records, and this value is coming from the last observation of this train data set or train data frame. Okay, so now this is what we got. Now what we'll do, we'll just simply plot it and see how it looks like. So what I'm doing, I'm just plotting using plt.plot, our function. First plotting the train from the train data frame passengers column, labeling as train. Similarly, from the test data frame passengers column, labeling it as test. Then plotting the y hat nave forecast column and labeling it as nave forecast. Legend is at best location, and the title is the nave method of forecast. So this portion that you see is the train data set. It is coming from the train data frame. This green uh, part is coming from the test data frame. Now, since this particular was the last observation, if you see, of the train data frame, so as per the naive method, what it will do, it will predict that for the next uh, 2 years of prediction, it will be the same value. That is why if you see where this train's last observation, that is December, ends, this same value is taken as the predicted value or the forecasted value for the next 2 years. Now, we can clearly see that this is not correct compared to the test data set, because it doesn't capture any trend, it doesn't capture any seasonality. Okay, now what we can do, we can just simply calculate the error factor, like what is the error like. So error means compared to the test values and with the forecasted values, what is the error. So I'm using from sklearn.matrix, there is one function called as mean squared error. So first is the root mean square error. So root mean square error means we have to find out the mean square error first. That is, mean square error means uh, the actual value of the test data frame, and we get the difference between the actual value of the test data frame and the predicted value. We just simply find out the difference and square it, so that gives the squared error. Calculate the mean of it, so we'll get the mean squared error. Now because it's in the squared unit, so we have to take the square root to get it back in the normal units. So that is the root mean square error. Now MAPE is mean absolute percentage error, which is like we first of all we have to find out the absolute difference between the actual uh, number of passengers present in the test data frame and our forecast value, and we divide it by the total number of passengers in the test data frame. Basically, we are actually calculating the percentage for each of the predicted value. We are finding out the difference and dividing it by the actual value of the test. So it gives the, and multiplying it by 100, it gives the percentage difference for each of the predicted values. And then we are calculating the mean. So that becomes MAP, that is mean absolute percentage error. So if I see the values coming for RMSE and MAP is 137 and 23.63. So what it means that there is 23% almost error in our prediction, in our forecast using this naive method of forecast. Now let's go to the next method, which is the simple average method. Now we said that in the simple average method, what we do, we just take the average of all the historical data, and whatever value comes, we said this is the value of, this is the forecast value for the next period. So simply again we are taking the test copy into a new data frame called as y hat average, and in that we are creating a new column as the average forecast, and which is the mean of the values present in the train data set. Again, if we plot this, that is we are plotting the passengers of the train and the passengers of the test data frame, and the third is the average forecast that we had calculated, labeling it as average forecast, setting the legend and titles. This is, we have the average, simple average method of forecast. So again, this blue portion is the train, coming from the train data frame, this green one from the test, and this is the average. So this is the average value of this entire train. So if you see, this is much below compared to what we observed in the Naive method. So Naive method was basically, was very much closer to the test data frames values, because it was the last observed value of the 2000 of the train data frame. Here what we are doing, we are taking the average, so obviously average will come down. So it means this is more erroneous compared to what we got in the Naive method. So again, if we calculate the um, root mean square value and MAP, we see that both these measures will increase. That means this is uh, so this is worse compared to Naive method. So if you see, MAP is 44.28%, means it has 44% error compared to what we were getting, 23% error in the Naive method. So, so we covered simple forecasting methods in this tutorial. We'll cover more in the next tutorials. Thank you for now.